Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, Johnny's living on a prayer. Hello and welcome back to the video series where you don't need a medical expert to know what's happening in Herm's Anus, South Africa. That's right, I'm talking about MTV's The Challenge, Season 32, The Final Reckoning. And guess what, guys? We've made it to episode 10. We're halfway through this season, but before we get to the mid-season tease that was at the end of this episode, let's go over what happened in this episode. And taking from where last episode left off, Devon and Josiah picked the double cross, and after careful politicking from both CT and Derek H, they said Big Brother united and took Paulie and Natalie into the battle back competition. But it was Devon and Josiah who kicked that butt easily, sending Paulie and Natalie back to the Redemption House, and basically nothing else happened. Like, the whole week was kind of just like thrown away because they got back into the house right away, except for Tori and Derek H, CT and Veronica, and Faith and Angela were sent home and not back to the Redemption House. Bye, guys. Anyways, they made it back into the house. Devon and Josiah made it back into the house just in time for a purge challenge. And not just any purge challenge. This is an eating purge challenge. And guess what? Nothing neutralizes the field more than eating disgusting, weird stuff in a timely fashion. So Hunter and Ashley win this pretty easily. But it's the rest of the house that try to duke it out and not to be last and be sent right back into the Redemption House, or right to the Redemption House. And the last two teams eating we saw was Kaylee and Cam and Cara Maria and Marie. Now, I'll give it to the editor. At one point, I was like, oh my gosh, Cam and Kaylee have so much left. They're going to be sent right directly into the Redemption House. And then they went over to Cara Maria, and I was like, they've only eaten that much? I mean, now it's just a toss-up in the air, and I don't know if it's Cara Maria just chews faster and much more, or if the edit is just making Cam look like she's eating slower. But I want to know, and that's pretty much where the episode ends, but I want to ask you guys, who do you think gets sent to Redemption House? Who are you hoping gets sent to the Redemption House? Leave it in the comment section below. And basically, that's all that happened in this week's episode. A little bit more jarring, back and forth. But anyways, let's get to the mid-season tease, because this is what's been blowing my mind and really just taking over my whole thought process from when the episode aired and ended to right at this moment. And there's a couple of things I want to pick out from this mid-season tease. Also, good job to the editor, whoever did that, because my mind is blown. And from what I've seen on their Twitter, everybody else's mind is blown. And there's a couple of things I want to pick out. First of all, it's this takedown right here. I can't tell. From when it aired, I kept pausing it, rewinding it, pausing it, trying to figure out who was taking down who in this scenario. And then I went to work and I started rewatching it. I found it on my Facebook feed and I was rewinding it, pausing it, rewinding it. And even just before filming this episode, I actually was watching it again and I found a couple of key hints. So when I'm watching it, I'm trying to figure out who's the three people in this scenario. And at first, I thought it was Tony that gets taken down. If you look at the build of this person, he's a tall, skinnier kind of fellow, just like Tony. He's wearing a hat, which he seems like people are wearing, whoever's wearing a hat the most, which is, it seems like Tony. And Tony's a pretty tall guy, and at first I thought it was Hunter that took him down. However, just from rewatching this, the third person in this video, that is clearly Devin. And if you remember from the mid-season tease, at one point, Devin and Corey show up as mercenaries. And as mercenaries, you can fight your way into the house, and if they win in elimination. So apparently, I feel as though they win in the elimination. Devin is standing there, and I feel as though with Devin and Corey in the house, this is what I think my theory is, right? So Devin and Corey battle into the house. They take care of elimination. They get into the house. They're all out dancing at the club, right? Well, Devin loves to run his mouth, and so does Corey. And their vendettas are both Johnny bananas. So I feel as though they're coming in. They start jarring at Johnny. Johnny's not having it. Johnny's not feeling it. He's not having the best time. Everybody's already kind of jarring at him between the Lavender ladies, Shane, and everybody. kind of getting under his skin. So now Corey and Devin show up, which is the main interrogators just going at it. So they have a few too many drinks. They get at Johnny. Johnny's not having it. Tony's not having it. Tony's pretty much boys with Corey, Nelson, and Hunter. But because Johnny is his partner, he decides to stick up for him. He tells them to back off. Don't do this. Come on, guys. Let's just leave it alone. That's my partner. Whatever. And Corey, having one too many, is not having it. Kind of gets into it with him. Talks to Devin about it. That's why Devin's standing so close to them. And they're trying to have a one-on-one, and then Corey just drops him. But that's my theory. I want to know what's your theory. Who do you think gets dropped? Who do you think gets taken down? Who do you think does the taking down? What's happening in this scenario? Let me know what you think, because I'm a huge Tony and Johnny Bananas team. If you haven't seen my other videos, I wear a Johnny Bananas jacket besides this Black Panther one. I want to hear what you have to say. The next thing I want to pick out in this mid-season tease is Zach's face. Why is his face like that? Do you think it's challenge related? Kind of like a Joss and Derek K kind of elimination mercenary thing where maybe a challenge went too far and kind of hit him in the face? Or do you think maybe he's in a scrap with the people that did the takedown, maybe came to Tony's rescue? What do you think happens to Zach's face? Leave it in the comment section below. Also, TJ drops a huge bomb on us. This is a throwback to Rivals 3, where Johnny took all the money from Sarah because they were a team, and Johnny took all the money from Sarah. Apparently, the team who wins this at the end, one person will be able to take all the money for themselves. And let me tell you, in the challenge universe, and really every universe, reality TV, everybody was talking about Johnny Bananas taking all the money and running it for himself. And that was only like $300,000, $250,000. What do you think people are going to be talking about if somebody takes a full $1 million? Now, don't get me wrong. I feel as though most teams would be like, $500,000, I can live with that. Maybe I'll be asked back on another challenge. You never know. But think of just breaking the internet and being infamous for taking $1 million from somebody who's been going through this grueling season of the challenge. But I want to hear what you have to say. Who are you rooting for? This is the mid-season. Who are you rooting for to get that $1 million? And do you think one of those teams, one person from those teams, would take the whole million for themselves? Leave it in the comment section below. You can answer 1, 2, 3, or all my questions, or you could just not answer them at all. But I would love to hear what you have to say about this challenge season so far. It's the halfway point. What do you think is going to happen? So let's go down the list one more time. Who do you think gets sent to Redemption House? Cara Maria or Cam, team-wise? Who gets taken down in the fight? What do you think happens to Zach's face? Who are you rooting for? And do you think they'll take the $1 million all for themselves? Please leave it in the comment section below. But thank you for watching. And while you're down there, hit that subscribe button to help me out. And I just love this challenge. But let's just be honest, from seeing that mid-season finale tease, I feel as though nothing has really happened until this back end of this season. But let me know what you think of this season. But that's it for me. I'll see y'all next week talking about episode 11, and I'm just dying to know what happens next week. I'll see y'all next week.